Imagine giving your heart to someone who never truly sees you. Imagine pouring your kindness, patience, and love into a person who only takes, never giving anything back. You believe that if you just try a little harder, if you love them a little more, they will change, but they never do. Instead, they make you question yourself, manipulate your emotions, and drain your energy until you're left wondering what happened to the person you used to be. This is what it's like to be trapped in a relationship with a narcissist. They don't appreciate kindness, they exploit it. They don't respect boundaries, they break them. They don't apologize sincerely. They manipulate you into believing they will change, only to repeat the same toxic cycle over and over again. The hardest truth to accept is this: you cannot fix a narcissist. No amount of love, patience, or understanding will make them change. And the more you try, the more you lose yourself in the process. So today, it's time to stop being kind to a narcissist. It's time to recognize their games, reclaim your power, and walk away for good. Because your kindness should be valued, not used against you. Narcissists thrive on your kindness because they see it as a resource to exploit rather than something to appreciate. Unlike people who recognize kindness as a sign of goodwill, empathy, and connection, a narcissist interprets it as a weakness. They view every act of patience, understanding, or forgiveness as an opportunity to manipulate and control. This happens because narcissists operate with an inflated sense of self-importance and an insatiable need for validation. They believe they are entitled to special treatment, and when they find someone who is naturally kind and compassionate, they recognize an easy target, someone who will keep giving even when it's undeserved. A narcissist may shower you with affection, attention, and charm, making you feel like your kindness is finally being valued. They create the illusion that they appreciate your warmth and generosity. However, this is only a tactic to gain control over you. Once they sense that you are invested in the relationship, whether it be a friendship, romantic connection, or even a professional dynamic, they begin to reveal their true nature. They test your limits, pushing boundaries while subtly undermining you. If you express hurt or disappointment, they gaslight you into thinking you are overreacting or misunderstanding their intentions. Over time, your kindness becomes their power. They learn that no matter what they do, whether it's breaking promises, lying, or being emotionally distant, you will be there. The more understanding you show, the more they take. If you express frustration, they flip the script and make themselves the victim. They manipulate you into feeling guilty for expecting basic respect. Your kindness becomes a one-way street where you give endlessly, hoping for change, but all they do is take without remorse. This cycle continues because narcissists crave admiration and attention, but they lack genuine empathy. They do not see your kindness as something to cherish. Instead, they see it as an opportunity to extract emotional labor without having to reciprocate. They demand loyalty while showing none in return. They expect you to always be there, to forgive and forget, to support them no matter how they treat you. And if you ever try to pull away, they use your own kindness against you. They remind you of how much they need you, how you are the only one who understands them, how the world has been cruel to them and only you can offer comfort. This manipulation plays on your natural instincts to help and care. You begin to believe that if you are just a little more patient, a little more understanding, they will finally appreciate you. But they won't. They will continue taking advantage of you because it serves their interests. Every time you extend kindness to a narcissist who does not value it, you reinforce their belief that they can get away with anything. They learn that no matter how much they neglect, disrespect, or hurt you, you will still show up. The longer this cycle continues, the more drained you become. Your emotional and mental well-being start to suffer because you are constantly giving without receiving. You feel exhausted, unappreciated, and confused about why your kindness is never enough. The truth is, it's not that your kindness isn't enough. It's that you are offering it to someone who does not deserve it. Narcissists do not see relationships as partnerships. They see them as hierarchies where they must always be on top. They take pride in knowing they can manipulate others into serving them. When you are naturally kind-hearted, it's difficult to accept that some people do not deserve your kindness. You may feel guilty at the thought of withdrawing or setting boundaries, but the reality is that a narcissist will never change just because you are kind to them. If anything, your kindness enables them to continue their behavior. The more you give, the more they take, until there's nothing left of you but exhaustion and self-doubt. They will not suddenly wake up and realize they should treat you better. They will simply move on to another source of validation once you are no longer useful. True kindness should be given to those who appreciate it, not to those who exploit it. When dealing with a narcissist, your kindness becomes fuel for their self-serving agenda. They do not see your patience as a virtue, they see it as permission. The only way to protect yourself is to recognize that kindness, when given without boundaries, can be used against you. Narcissists cannot be fixed, no matter how much effort, love, or understanding you pour into them. The idea that you can help them see the error of their ways or guide them toward becoming a better person is a dangerous illusion. It's an illusion that they encourage because it keeps you emotionally invested in them. They make you believe that with enough patience, they will change. That if you love them deeply enough, they will finally open up, heal, and treat you with the same kindness you offer them. But this will never happen because narcissists do not believe they need to change. At their core, narcissists lack genuine self-awareness. They do not reflect on their actions in a meaningful way, nor do they take responsibility for the harm they cause. If they ever apologize, it is rarely sincere. It's a tool to manipulate you back into their control. Their sense of entitlement and superiority prevents them from seeing themselves as the problem. In their mind, they are always right. And if something goes wrong, it must be someone else's fault. They will rewrite reality to fit their narrative, even if that means distorting facts, blaming you, or making you question your own perceptions. One of the most insidious aspects of dealing with a narcissist is the hope they create. They give you glimpses of change, moments of kindness or self-reflection, just enough to make you think maybe they're starting to get it. But these moments are fleeting. As soon as they feel secure in their control over you, they revert to their old ways. This cycle keeps you trapped, constantly chasing a version of them that doesn't truly exist. It makes you believe that progress is possible when in reality it is nothing more than a manipulation tactic designed to keep you hooked. Narcissists do not engage in personal growth the way emotionally healthy people do. When they are confronted with criticism, instead of processing it and striving to improve, they become defensive, angry, or dismissive. They lash out, accuse you of being too sensitive, or act as though they are the real victim. If you express hurt over their actions, they twist the situation to make you feel guilty for having expectations of them. This pattern ensures that no real change ever takes place because, in their mind, they are never truly wrong. If a narcissist ever does seek help or therapy, it is often for the wrong reasons. They may go to counseling to appease someone they don't want to lose or to maintain their public image, but rarely with a genuine desire for transformation. They might even use therapy as another manipulation tool, learning new ways to deceive or control those around them. Any temporary change they display is usually performative, meant to buy time, regain your trust, and keep you emotionally entangled. As soon as they feel secure again, they return to their usual behavior. Loving a narcissist can feel like trying to fill a bottomless pit. No matter how much understanding, patience, and forgiveness you give them, it is never enough. They always need more validation, more admiration, more attention. And even when you exhaust yourself trying to meet their needs, they still find reasons to criticize, devalue, or discard you. The problem is not that you aren't doing enough, it's that no one could ever do enough for them. Their insatiable need for control and validation ensures that they will never be satisfied. The belief that you can help a narcissist change is not only false, but it is also harmful to you. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of disappointment, emotional exhaustion, and self-doubt. You begin to question your own worth, wondering why your love isn't enough to bring out the best in them. But the truth is, real change comes from within. And narcissists do not believe they need to change. They see your efforts not as an opportunity for growth, but as proof that they have control over you. The longer you hold on to the hope that they will transform, the more you sacrifice your own well-being for someone who will never truly appreciate it. Boundaries are essential when dealing with a narcissist because without them, they will take as much as you allow. Narcissists do not respect personal space, emotional limits, or the idea that others have needs separate from their own. To them, relationships are about power and control, not mutual respect or consideration. They push limits, test patience, and manipulate until they get what they want. The more leeway you give them, the more entitled they feel to take advantage of you. This is why setting firm boundaries is not just a suggestion, it is a necessity. A narcissist does not recognize or acknowledge boundaries unless they serve their own interests. If you tell them you need space, they will find ways to intrude. If you tell them you are uncomfortable with something, they'll either dismiss your feelings or twist your words to make you feel guilty. They thrive on breaking down barriers, slowly wearing away at your ability to say no. At first, they may push small boundaries, showing up unannounced, ignoring requests, or making subtle disrespectful comments. But as they gain more control, their behavior escalates. They will demand more time, more attention, and more emotional energy, regardless of how it affects you. One of their most common tactics is to make you feel selfish for having boundaries in the first place. If you assert yourself, they will accuse you of being cold, unloving, or overly sensitive. They might say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me?" Or, "You used to be so understanding, what happened to you?" These statements are designed to manipulate you into feeling guilty so that you lower your defenses. The more you give in, the easier it becomes for them to control you. Over time, you may even begin questioning your own needs, wondering if you are being unreasonable for wanting basic respect. Narcissists also have a way of making their needs seem more important than anyone else's. They act as if their time is more valuable, their problems are more urgent, and their feelings matter more. If you try to enforce a boundary, they will often respond with anger, passive aggressiveness, or emotional withdrawal. This reaction is meant to punish you for asserting yourself and to train you to avoid setting boundaries in the future. They rely on your discomfort, your fear of conflict, and your desire to keep the peace. The moment you hesitate, they push further, knowing they can get away with it. Boundaries are not just about saying no. They are about recognizing that you have the right to protect your peace, energy, and well-being. Narcissists will never willingly respect those boundaries, so it is up to you to enforce them. This means not explaining yourself endlessly, not engaging in arguments meant to wear you down, and not allowing guilt to make you compromise your limits. The moment you start justifying your boundaries to a narcissist, you give them an opening to dismantle them. They will poke holes in your reasoning, make excuses for why their behavior isn't a problem, or act as if you are the unreasonable one. If you fall into this trap, you will find yourself constantly defending your right to say no, rather than simply standing firm. When dealing with a narcissist, consistency is key. They will test your boundaries repeatedly, waiting for the moment you let your guard down. If you give in even once, they will take it as permission to continue overstepping. This is why it is important to be unwavering in your stance. It may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you are used to accommodating others, but the more you enforce your boundaries, the stronger you become. Narcissists thrive on control, and the only way to break free from their influence is to take that control away from them. Kindness becomes a trap when dealing with a narcissist because they do not see it as an act of goodwill or mutual respect. Instead, they see it as an opportunity to manipulate, control, and exploit. When you are naturally kind, you may assume that if you show patience and compassion, the other person will eventually reciprocate. But a narcissist does not function this way. They do not see kindness as something to appreciate or return. They see it as a tool they can use against you, a weakness they can exploit for their own benefit. The narcissist may act as though they value your kindness. They will praise you for being understanding, for always being there for them, for being someone they can trust. This makes you feel appreciated and reinforces the belief that your kindness is making a difference. But this is just the beginning of their manipulation. Once they recognize that you are willing to go above and beyond for them, they begin to test how much they can take without giving anything back. They start making small demands, asking for favors, expecting you to accommodate them without hesitation. If you comply, they push further. This pattern escalates. Your kindness becomes an expectation rather than something they value. They assume that you will always forgive, always listen, always support them, no matter how they treat you in return. If you ever hesitate or push back, they react with shock or anger, as if you are the one being unfair. They may accuse you of being selfish or remind you of all the times they needed you. This guilt-tripping tactic is meant to keep you trapped, making you feel responsible for their well-being while they take no responsibility for yours. A narcissist knows how to weaponize your kindness to keep you under their control. If you are a naturally empathetic person, they will use this against you by playing the victim. They will tell you stories about how others have mistreated them, how they have been misunderstood, how life has been unfair. They create a narrative where they are the wounded soul in need of saving, and you, being kind-hearted, feel compelled to help. But no matter how much you support them, their problems never seem to get better. That's because they don't actually want solutions. They want endless sympathy and attention. They want you to feel obligated to take care of them while they do nothing to change their own behavior. The more you give, the more they expect, and the more they expect, the more they take. You may start feeling drained, emotionally exhausted, even resentful. But because they have conditioned you to believe that walking away would make you a bad person, you continue to give. You begin to doubt yourself, wondering if you are being unreasonable for wanting basic respect. You wonder if you are the problem, if maybe you just need to try harder, be more patient, be more understanding. This self-doubt is exactly what a narcissist wants. The longer you stay trapped in this cycle, the more power they have over you. If you ever try to set boundaries, a narcissist will see this as a threat. They will act as if your boundaries are an attack on them, as if you are suddenly being cruel or ungrateful. They may try to punish you by withdrawing affection, ignoring you, or making you feel guilty for asserting yourself. This is their way of keeping you in line, making sure you continue to prioritize their needs over your own. They want you to believe that your kindness should be limitless, that saying no is an act of betrayal. True kindness should not come at the cost of your own well-being. A narcissist will never recognize or appreciate your efforts. In the way you hope, they will only take and take, leaving you emotionally depleted while they remain unaffected. What starts as genuine kindness turns into a cycle of self-sacrifice, where your needs are constantly neglected in favor of keeping them satisfied. The trap is believing that one day they will finally see your worth and treat you better. But that day never comes, because in their mind, your kindness is not something to cherish. It is something to exploit. A narcissist's apology is rarely genuine. It is not an expression of remorse, self-reflection, or a desire to change. Instead, it is a carefully crafted tool used to manipulate, control, and pull you back into their web. Unlike a sincere apology, which comes with accountability and a commitment to do better, a narcissist's apology serves only one purpose: to keep you emotionally invested in them. They do not say sorry because they feel bad about their actions. They say it because they want something from you, whether it is forgiveness, sympathy, or another chance to continue their behavior without consequences. Their apology may sound convincing. They may use the right words, appear emotional, and even acknowledge some of their mistakes. But if you pay close attention, you will notice patterns. Their apologies often lack depth, and they rarely take full responsibility. Instead of saying, "I was wrong," and "I hurt you," they might say, "I'm sorry you feel that way," or "I didn't mean to upset you." These are not true apologies. They are deflections designed to make you feel like your pain is an overreaction rather than a valid response to their actions. Another common tactic is shifting blame. A narcissist may admit to certain behaviors, but follow up with justifications that make it seem like they had no choice. They might say, "I only acted that way because you pushed me," or "I was under a lot of stress." These statements subtly place the blame back on you, making you question whether you were partially responsible for their mistreatment. Instead of holding themselves accountable, they create an excuse that forces you to feel guilty for expecting better treatment. Even when a narcissist appears remorseful, their actions rarely align with their words. They may promise to change, swear that things will be different, and beg for another chance, but as soon as they regain your trust, they return to their old behaviors. This cycle repeats itself because their apologies were never about making things right, they were about keeping you from leaving. The moment you forgive them, they feel reassured that they still have control over you. A real apology leads to change, but a narcissist's apology is only a temporary performance. They do not seek forgiveness to repair the relationship, they seek it to maintain their dominance. The only way to break free from their cycle is to recognize that their words mean nothing without action. Walking away from a narcissist is the only way to reclaim your peace, self-worth, and emotional well-being. No amount of kindness, patience, or effort will change them because they do not believe they need to change. The longer you stay, the more they manipulate, drain, and control you. The relationship, whether romantic, familial, or professional, will always be one-sided, with you giving endlessly while they take without remorse. The moment you recognize this truth, the only logical choice is to walk away. A narcissist will never make leaving easy. The moment they sense you are pulling away, they will use every tactic to keep you in their grasp. They might suddenly become kind and attentive, showing glimpses of the person you once believed they were. This is not because they care about you, it is because they fear losing their control over you. They may bombard you with messages, make promises to change, or try to guilt trip you into staying. If kindness does not work, they may shift to anger, threats, or playing the victim. They will accuse you of being selfish, ungrateful, or even cruel for wanting to protect yourself. One of the hardest parts of leaving is overcoming the guilt they have instilled in you. Narcissists train you to believe that their happiness is your responsibility, that if you walk away, you are abandoning them. But the truth is, they were never truly invested in your well-being. They only cared about what you could provide for them: attention, validation, emotional labor. Recognizing this allows you to break free from the emotional chains they have placed on you. Cutting ties with a narcissist requires strength and unwavering boundaries. In many cases, going no contact is the best approach. This means blocking their calls, messages, and social media to prevent them from pulling you back in. If no contact is not possible, such as in co-parenting or workplace situations, maintaining strict emotional detachment is crucial. Respond only when necessary, keep interactions brief, and do not engage in their manipulative tactics. Leaving a narcissist is not just about physical separation, it is about reclaiming your mental and emotional freedom. Once you remove them from your life, you begin to see how much of yourself you lost in trying to please them. The road to healing may not be easy, but it is the only way to regain your sense of self and build a life free from their control. Breaking free from a narcissist is not just about walking away, it is about reclaiming your peace, self-worth, and emotional freedom. Narcissists cannot be fixed. They do not respect boundaries, and they see kindness as something to exploit rather than appreciate. Their apologies are empty, their promises are hollow, and their only goal is to maintain control over you. The longer you stay, the more you lose yourself in their cycle of manipulation, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. But the moment you recognize their tactics for what they truly are, you take back your power. Walking away is not easy, but it is necessary. It is a choice to put yourself first, to stop hoping for change that will never come, and to break free from a relationship that only drains you. It is about realizing that you deserve love, respect, and a life where you are valued for who you are, not for what you can provide to someone who refuses to appreciate you. You are not responsible for fixing a narcissist, and you are not selfish for choosing yourself. So if you are in this battle, know that you are stronger than you think. You have the power to break the cycle, to heal, and to build a life where your kindness is cherished, not exploited. Stay strong, trust yourself, and never let anyone convince you that you are unworthy of real love and respect. Good luck on your journey to freedom, healing, and self-discovery. You deserve happiness, and it is waiting for you beyond the grip of a narcissist. Thank you for listening, and take care of yourself.